It's Julien Looks Under Things with Julien that looks under things. And Nicole is there sometimes, so let's go look under things. Hello everyone, Julien here, and here's my new documentary about the riparian forests of the prairies, specifically the ones next to the LaSalle River, right behind me, and the Red River, both located in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Now I know what you're thinking. Julien, am I really going to be watching a documentary about Winnipeg? Yes. Yes, you are. It is, well, gotta give Winnipeg some respect. It is the origin of Julien Looks Under Things, and it has helped me, well, basically film pretty much anywhere. This area is in the middle of the continent, so, well, it has some of the most extreme weather patterns in the world. So, well, no matter where I go, I am prepared. Whether it is the ice of Iceland or the heat of Australia, I can take it. Also, well, Winnipeg in general, with everything, if you want to find something, you need to look for it. And, well, Julien Looks Under Things is that. Yeah, it's really helped me to film a lot of critters whenever I go somewhere else. So yeah, those forests are very dear to me, and I'm not just doing a video to show that, but also to help them, because, well, oh, there's a pileated woodpecker that just flew by. Oh, another one. Whoa. Lots of creatures here. But yeah, one of those forests in particular that's very close, this one's called the LeMay Forest, is in danger. It has been bought by a private company to build houses there. Boo! And which is a terrible idea. Boo! So yeah, quite a few people in the community have banded together. Thanks for being a good part of the community. Yeah. And the city is trying to, fix that and make sure this area becomes a park, but it takes a while and we gotta stay vigilant. So I want to make a video to, well, show the beauties of the riparian forest, also known as the Riverbottom forests. The Riverbottom forests are in a very, very important position, specifically, well, being near the rivers in the prairies. So the prairies are the most endangered habitat in the world, which, yeah, makes those forests crucial because, well, a lot of animals are going to stay there. They're going to be corridors for migrating birds and sources of food or shelter for a lot of interesting mammals. But everyone's pretty much, well, especially in the community where I live, they've shown the pictures of the birds, of the mammals. You got owls, things like that, foxes, coyotes, raccoons, minks, and all of that. But I want to show you the stuff that are harder to see. So let's take a look at what lives there. Now, something I see a lot in the forests of the Red River Valley are, well, fungi. And, well, fungi are very, very important for the environment. They're probably the most important living organism on Earth specifically. Like, I don't know how it is in the ocean, but when we talk about land, life would not be the way it is today, especially because of fungi. Well, first, they were apparently the first living beings that made it onto land. Apparently, they managed to do that up to 2 billion years ago. So, that's quite a long time. And, well, yeah, they influence everything. First of all, they are the main scavengers on Earth. They are the ones that are capable of breaking down plant matter. And that's very important because before they evolved to be able to do that, plant matter did not decompose well. And, well, that caused quite a bit of problems. Yeah, it apparently caused a mass extinction through climate change and stuff. Basically, all that carbon got stored and then released. So, we want our fungi. But they also help plants communicate and absorb more nutrients. So they are in a symbiotic relationship with plants. They basically help their roots. So without fungi, well, yeah, our forests would be very different. And, well, we share our human history with fungi as well. Specifically yeast, which is used to brew beer, which is also used to make bread and a bunch of other things. I still have quite a bit of a hard time identifying mushrooms. I do know how to identify maybe 3 or 4 edible mushrooms. The ones I can identify and the ones that I find, well, here, are the chicken of the woods and the shaggy mane. So the chicken of the woods is called that because when cooked, it has a texture similar to chicken. It is a very interesting mushroom. It is orange. It does not look like a lot of other mushrooms, so it's a safe mushroom to try. When you try a chicken of the woods, you want first to try just a little bit, just to see if you're not allergic to it or not. And they are sometimes confused for the jack-o'-lantern mushroom. The biggest difference is that the jack-o'-lantern has a lamellae, like those little long thingies on the bottom, while the chicken of the woods has like pores. So it basically has little holes where the spores come out. The shaggy mane is a type of ink cap. So basically they kind of grow as those little white things, and then eventually they disintegrate into black goo. When you find them, yeah, you want to prepare them very quickly. I quite like those ones. They are interesting. Their texture is very similar to asparagus, but their taste is a bit more on the savory side. They're not very bitter. And yeah, you kind of just cook them nice and easy in butter. Chicken of the woods, you prepare like chicken. My favorite recipe is to kind of like fry it like chicken and make a nice chicken of the woods sandwich. It's pretty good. Oh, very, very, very good. And I'm really, really happy that this area, this small area of the world has managed to show me those mushrooms. Other creatures that are very common but not often photographed or seen are the insects, of course. I'm gonna talk about them, and I'm gonna start with the beetles because there is a lot of beetles. So again, with the prairies and the riverbed forests, who are endangered ecosystems, I will talk about a beetle that is also endangered, and that is the firefly. There is multiple species of fireflies, and, well, they are quite well-loved beetles because of their lights and stuff like that, their bioluminescence. Some are carnivores, herbivores, other detritivores, and things like that. And, yeah, they need the prairies and the forests. This area right here is very important because, well, they need them for their life cycles. By walking around here, I have found a firefly larva, and it is really cool. It looks like a trilobite beetle. The trilobite beetles are in, I think, Sumatra. Yeah, the females are the ones that look like trilobites, who are ancient creatures, and just a little thing I discovered, trilobite beetles and fireflies are closely related, so it's really, really, really cool. More insects that need our help, we got the pollinators, and I talk quite a lot about bees, specifically the native bees and their importance, but they're not the only pollinators. Beetles are still pollinators as well. They are not as efficient as bees and butterflies, but they make up for it with sheer number. Because, yeah, a quarter of all animal species is a beetle, so there's a lot of beetles. The ones I've seen pollinate the most are the longhorn beetles and the blister beetles. So blister beetles, you want to be a little bit careful with those ones. They are quite interesting looking, but they have a very, very efficient defense system. They basically I think they spray a liquid from their joints or something like that, and it's quite irritating. I did get sprayed by one by accident. It's again like with the tussock moth. One landed on me. I panicked. I thought it was a mosquito, and too late. It happens. It happens. And beetles, like I said with the fireflies, they are important scavengers. And the ones that, well, do that quite a lot are the ground beetles, who are also very efficient predators. Those are the scarabs, the big black beetles we see scurrying on the ground. They're just really fun. I don't know too much about them. They're just they're just fun to see. But yeah, those are the beetles. Now, other things I've seen a lot looking under the logs of the river-bottom forests are the non-insect hexapods. So, you've probably learned as a kid, like me, that insects have 6 legs and an exoskeleton. Well, there are some animals with exoskeletons and 6 legs who are closely related to insects and are not insects. It's pretty wild. Most of them are called the springtails. So apparently they can jump quite well. They have a little spring in their tail or something. And they look pretty cute. They're like tiny, very, very small. Pretty interesting little long body. Some will have some very long antennas. I saw some with long antennas in Australia, but they're probably another group of hexapods. I've seen the Diplora hexapods, they just have 2 long strands on their abdomen. Apparently, from what I've read, what makes springtails different from insects. Well, first, they don't really have wings. Not all insects have wings, but a lot of insects have wings. Apparently, springtails have internal mouth parts. I don't really know how that works. I guess I'm going to need a stronger macro system to film them. So insects have external mouth parts. Their mouth opening is on the outside of their body. There's lots of different types of mouths in insects. We have the mandibles that are seen in beetles, dragonflies, and other animals like that. Then we have the proboscis, which is like a straw, seen in mosquitoes, true bugs, and things like that. But yeah, I still don't really understand the internal mouth part of springtails. It is interesting that there's always a lot more to learn. Springtails are extremely important for their environment. They are scavengers, and, well, they are a source of food for a lot of small predators. So, very fascinating creatures. Continuing with other animals that are very common there, but harder to find, we have another arthropod, so another animal with an exoskeleton, the mites and the ticks. So, I'm going to get the ticks out of the way. I have filmed them. I'm not a fan. I do admire their evolution. It is very fascinating that, they've evolved a quite easy lifestyle. They go on some grass, go on a passing animal, drink a lot of blood, molt, or lay eggs, and there you go. I'm just not a fan of them making it so I have to be aware of my surroundings when I go in tall grass. I prefer talking about the mites. So, mites and ticks they used to be in the same group, the group called Acari, but now they're in 2 separate groups. So, mites are in the group Acariformes, ticks are in the group Parasitoformes. How related are they to each other? It's still being researched. What's important is that they are arachnids. So spiders, scorpions, pseudoscorpions, and the camel spider, which is not a spider. As well as a few other things that I might be forgetting. So mites are super tiny. A lot of them are scavengers. Those that we know quite well are the dust mites, and there are some that are predators. Apparently they have the scientific name Shaletus, if that's the right word. I would love to film one someday. There are some that are able to roll up, and it's really cool. I think I saw them. They were eating some maple seeds or flowers. There's also the velvet mite, so they're in the group called the Trombylidae. They're just very bright red. Apparently there's one in the world that is quite big. The biggest velvet mite is I I think found in India or something, and it's like a centimeter long, even more. It's I would love to see that. But they are just very, very fascinating animals. I wish I could learn more about them, but that explains the importance of protecting those areas, because there's still so many animals that we don't really know, and other living organisms that we just don't really know what they're all about. And well, it's not all about having things be useful to humans. We share this world with them. Like, it's just marvelous that life is just so diverse and cool, and we want to preserve that. It's very fragile. Other arthropods after the arachnids, we have crustaceans. We have crustaceans in those forests. And well, it's the pillbugs. So they're known under, so they have multiple names. Pillbugs, roly-polies. That's all. That's the only names I have right now on the top of my head. Cloporte in French. So they're quite popular. They're fun. Little scavengers also. Lots of scavengers here. Very useful for the environment too. They apparently accumulate heavy metals in their bodies, so by studying them, we can know if there's heavy metals somewhere. And yeah, it's really cool that they are crustaceans. They breathe with gills, but they're able to be in air. So other crustaceans do that, like the Christmas crab and the coconut crab, which I would love to film someday. So the pillbugs, they need to be in areas that are very humid. So that's why, the coconut crab and the Christmas crab are in the tropics, where it's very humid. Those forests are usually alongside rivers, and there are crustaceans in those rivers. There's, of course, the crayfish, but the ones I see is the very most are the side swimmer or the amphipods. So those are little shrimps. They're not related to the shrimps we eat. And those are also very important scavengers because, they're very sensitive to the environment. So if the environment is polluted, you're not going to find them in the rivers. Those forests are very good at supporting wetlands. I'm going to probably talk more about wetlands, but yeah, we really want to protect those because they, especially in the Red River Valley, they help to limit floods. They keep waters clean. They're very, very useful, we want to protect our wetlands, which again, it's a shame that those areas are in danger. Boo! So yeah, what can we do? Well, there's the little things we can do individually, so planting native plants and stuff like that. But the main important thing to do is to work as a community. What do I mean when I talk about helping in the community? Well, it is finding out what you can do, but also understanding what others can do, because we can't do everything, and many things will help together. So taking the Lemay Forest, for example, we had people that first figured out what was happening and then shared to others what was happening. So I did that. So a lot of liking just on social media, because I was in Iceland, so I couldn't really do much. But other people also made sure to make a website to educate even more, make a petition and a GoFundMe and everything, and also communicate with members of the government, and then, be there for those meeting thingies, as well as make presentations that work for the government. I do a lot of the educating, but you can see that I'm probably a bit too golden retriever-esque for bureaucracy. It has to do also with multiple levels of knowledge too. So some people approach it from a more scientific environmental perspective, but there is also historians. So the area has historical significance. So for the First Nations community, the Métis community, Francophone, and a bunch of other people, I hope I can get more support for the Lemay Forest. I'm going to put the website in the description, but also show everyone how they can help in their own little corner of the world. Well, yeah, get involved in your community, stay vigilant about what's happening, and yeah, have a good day, everyone.